years ago, an idea was born. An idea to create a platform where young minds could step into the shoes of world leaders, where diplomacy would meet determination, and where dialogue would pave the way for change.
That idea became a legacy. Chapter 1 laid the foundation. Chapter 2 raised the bar. And Chapter 3, here we are, to write a new chapter in that journey.
MVMUN Chapter 3 is not just a conference. It is a movement of voices, of leadership that will echo far beyond these walls.
Look around you. Every delegate, every chair, every organizer is a part of something bigger. This is where idea turn into action, where debate becomes dialogue, and where leadership finds its true stage.
And so, with immense pride, passion, and anticipation, we proudly open the third edition of MVMUN Chapter 3.
Get ready for diplomacy, get ready for debate, and get ready for history in making. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MVMUN Chapter 3.
To begin the lighting of ceremonial lamp, I now invite our Charge d'Affaires, Master Shivendra Dwivedi, to kindly take the stage and initiate the ceremony.
They say time is money. Yet, unlike wealth, once time slips through our hands, it never comes back. Well, yeah, we can proclaim that time is divine. It does not pause, it does not plead, and yet it governs all of us. It listens to no one and serves as both a silent witness and an unrelenting force. And still, in a world that moves faster than anything, we pause. We pause to honor a tradition, to welcome a beginning, and to reflect on the movement before us. As we mark the official commencement of this prestigious edition of MVMUN, it is my honor to invite the All Is Well Multi-Speciality Hospital Director, Mr. Kabir Chowkse, on the stage, followed by the Principal of Macrovision Academy, Mr. J.S. Parmar sir, and our Education Director, Ms. Antara Chowkse, followed by Deputy Principal, Mrs. Sheetal Popli ma'am, and Pratibha Nair ma'am, with our HOD of Commerce, Neha Suri ma'am, for the lamp lighting ceremony. Please give a huge round of applause for them. I would also like to thank the founder and chairman of Macrovision Academy for this event, as well as to the founder and academic director to Macrovision Academy, Mrs. Manjusha Chowkse and Mr. Anand Prakash Chowkse. I would request you to give a huge round of applause for their efforts. Well, every program has a foundation, someone who drives the mission. whose support strengthens every step, and whose presence uplifts everyone around them. Behind our progress stands a leader who is always and always there for us. She is the force that steadies us, the mind that guides us, and the heart that keeps us moving forward. Today it is with deep respect and gratitude that I welcome the very backbone of this program. So please give a huge round of applause and welcome our Director General, Ms. Antara Chokse, on the stage.
Welcome to Macrovision's Model United Nations Chapter 3. All is well. All is well. Can I hear the voice? All is well. All is well. Honorable members of the management, respected teachers and dear board, and most importantly, all our distinguished delegates. Today, we gather not merely for an event, but for an experience. And that experience defines the spirit of Macrovision Academy. At Macrovision, we believe in the power of education. It is about sculpting the human spirit. It is about giving every student the stage to create, to question, to challenge, and to lead. From the art decorations and cultural performances to making speeches and day after tomorrow making resolutions, our students embrace it all. And that is the spirit of MVMUN. Dear delegates, I have a special message for you. Step forth with courage, argue with confidence, listen with empathy, and above all, remember the friendships, the connections, the networks that you make today and in the coming 3 days is the lesson that you take from Macrovision Academy and Macrovision's Model United Nations. So, on the behalf of Macrovision Academy, I officially welcome you all and I wish you the strength of conviction, grace of diplomacy, and the joy of discovery. And POV, I would also like to welcome the strongest independent delegate of MVMUN, whom I have seen arguing with entire fierceness, Mrs. Devanshi Chokse, Executive Director, All Is Well Hospital. So, welcome to the opening ceremony, ma'am, and welcome to the debates. So guys, if you find Devanshi ma'am in your conference, be ready for an intense debate. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Macrovision Academy empowers us to become unparalleled global citizens and leaders of tomorrow. Trust takes time, but when it's given in such big doses, it can either make us or break us. We feel blessed that the management trusts us with this event, and we are grateful for their confidence to motivate us to do our own vision to achieve greater outcomes for us and of course for the delegates sitting in the audience. Hence, Team MVMUN would like to thank you all with a token of love. So now, I would like to call Maulik Bhargav to facilitate the Director of All Is Well Multi-Speciality Hospital, Mr. Kabir Chokse, with a token of love from our side. Followed by Master Kaustubh Pandey to welcome the Executive Director of All Is Well Multi-Speciality Hospital, Mrs. Devanshi Chokse. I would like you to appreciate them. I would like to call Master Aditya Raj Nirale to welcome our Director General, Ms. Antara Chokse, with a token of love. I would like to call Ayan Parte to welcome our Principal of Macrovision Academy with a token of love from our team. Please give a huge round of applause for them. I would like to invite Navya Gulati to welcome our Vice Principal, Mrs. Monica Agrawal ma'am, with a token of love from our side. Now I invite Miss Master Maulik Bhargav, Master Kaustubh Pandey, and Master Aditya Raj Nirale to welcome our Deputy Principals, Mrs. Sheetal Popli ma'am, Mrs. Vibha Jetli ma'am, and Mrs. Pratibha Nair ma'am, with a token of love from Team MVMUN. Guys, appreciation is needed from both sides. I request Ayan Parte to facilitate our Head of Department of Commerce, Mrs. Neha Suri ma'am, with a token of love from our side. Now, taking the opportunity to welcome the teachers who are here for various schools, I would like to invite Ms. Antara Chokse ma'am and Mrs. Sheetal Popli ma'am to facilitate Yusuf Ali sir from Burhanpur Public School, Chahat sir from Angels Planet, Tanu ma'am from Burhanpur Public School.
Welcome, ma'am.
Guys, appreciation. Well, I would also like to thank the management of Macrovision School, Khandwa, Angels Planet School, Burhanpur Public School, and Triumphal Arc Academy for their support to motivate the students for their participation in this prestigious edition of MVMUN Chapter 3. Well, leadership is about guiding with vision, staying focused, and inspiring others while staying grounded. The person before us has done all of this and leaded with steady hands and clear direction. Terms like torchbearer is just a glitch. For us, he's a judiciary where his words are the ultimatum. Now it's my honor to invite our Secretary General, Master Maulik Bhargav, to grace the stage with his words. So please give a huge round of applause for the Secretary General.
Om Ganeshaya Namaha. I strongly believe that every negotiator, debater and diplomat is an artist who beautifully sketches his words into landscapes that brings forth peace and harmony to our world. But how can any art flourish without the blessings of the divine? The God of all art forms, the manifest source of inspiration, the supreme guide of creation, who touches the heart of every spoken word, who breathes life into every spoken word, who watches over each effort for peace. Who is him? Mahakal. Namo Vaya Bhutaya Dhyanam Bhayanam Jatamahi Ganga Jalakke Prayanam Trayam Netra Jwala Jale Chandra Balam Vishamdanta Mala Dale Rindamam. मिटे संकटम वाटकाटम विकटम रटे नाम तो कोटि काटे का सतम गिरा गौरी अर्धांग कैलाश अवस्थे नमस्ते 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 delegates. With my heart full of pride and soul filled with gratitude, I wholeheartedly welcome you all to this third edition of MVMUN Chapter 3 with utmost respect and sincerity. You all, finally delegates, we have arrived at the days when we are going to try to unleash our maximum potential and fabricate history through diplomacy and dialogue. MVMUN is not just a platform for debate, delegates, it's a platform to rejuvenate. So open your hearts to the fullest, delegate, as we all are going to write 29th, 30th and 31st of August on it. But let us not be mistaken, delegates. This is no game. We are custodians of imagination, guardians of discourse. This is no passing diversion of students. What you stimulate here, the world outside bleeds for. What we resolve here, nations still dream of. And so, our responsibility is sacred. For the debates we conduct are shadows of wars still raging, and the resolutions we draft are sparks of the future yet unborn. Believe me, delegates, this Model United Nations conference and this experience will be so etched in you that you will reach to a point of realization that still there are a ton of things left in this beautiful world to explore. These 3 days would definitely carve you into a completely different person, delegates. A happy person, a delighted, enthralled, and again, an intellectual person. So I wholeheartedly again welcome you all to this 3rd edition of MBMUN Chapter 3. Thank you.
Appreciation to our Secretary General.
War. It is a word that echoes with pain, with silence, and with sacrifice that humanity must never forget. From the trenches of First World War to the ashes of Second, conflict has reshaped borders, rewritten destinies, and left behind scars that still remind us of the cost of division.
But history is not just a story of battles. It is a story of resilience, diplomacy, and tireless pursuit of peace. International affairs, then and now, continue to challenge the conscience of nation and test the unity of humanity.
So, to revisit these moments, to reflect on the struggles of past and the responsibilities of the present, we bring to you a powerful montage video on world wars and international affairs. May it remind us the price of conflict and the value of dialogue.
Dear delegates, let us witness history unfold on the screen.
The history of our world has been carved in fire and blood. The First World War told nations apart. Trenches filled not with victory but with silence. The Second World War followed, leaving cities in ashes, families shattered, and humanity scarred forever. Yet even after such devastation, peace remained fragile. In Israel and Palestine, voices of faith and culture clashed, turning streets into battlegrounds, homes into ruins. And as the years passed, modern wars arose. Tanks rolling through cities, missiles shattering the sky, civilians caught between borders not of their making. These conflicts remind us of the terrible cost of power and of the fragile threads that hold humanity together. But the wolves of war live far beyond the battlefield. They are seen in the eyes of the displaced. The mother carrying a child across borders. The family huddled in tents waiting for a tomorrow that never comes. Refugee camps become silent witnesses to broken dreams. Even as humanity searched for shelter, another battle raged. One not against each other, but against nature itself. Melting glaciers, raging storms, forests ablaze, oceans swallowing homes. The question was no longer whether we could survive each other, but whether we could survive ourselves. Out of these ashes of despair came a voice of unity. The United Nations was born, not as a symbol, but as a promise. A promise that dialogue could triumph over destruction. The world could replace weapons. In its grand halls, leaders gathered not as enemies but as partners. Resolutions were drafted, treaties signed, and peacekeepers sent where hope was fading. The UN stood as humanity's conscience, reminding us that when nations talk, wars can end. And that when voices rose together, humanity healed. But the world cannot wait for tomorrow's leaders to grow old. Change begins today with the voices of the young. And so, the model United Nations was born, a stage where students step into the shoes of diplomats and shape the world with idea. In every speech, a vision is born. In every debate, a leader emerges. In every resolution, tomorrow takes shape. Model UN is not just a simulation. It is where the youth prove that they are ready. Ready to challenge, ready to collaborate, ready to lead. And here, in Toronto, this spirit found its home. Macrovision Academy bought a MVMUN, a stage where young voices carry the weight of nations. From chapter 1 to chapter 2, we have seen passion, diplomacy, and leadership ignite within these halls. Each year, the legacy grew stronger. Each year, the voices grew louder. And now, the journey continues. Today, more than 800 delegates stand together, not as students, but as representatives of nations, not as individuals, but as leaders of tomorrow. This is where ideas collide. This is where leaders rise. And this is where history is written. Because this is MVMUN. Welcome to the arena where words carry weight, where visions become reality, and where voices change the world.
From the chapters of history, we now move to the rhythm of the present, because diplomacy may be spoken in words, but expression often finds its strongest voice in art.
And when art meets power, it takes the form of dance. The next performance brings to you the MBA Hoppers, led by the dynamic Akash sir, presenting a dark hip-hop sequence that blends intensity with precision.
So get ready to witness a performance where rhythm meets rebellion, where beats narrate stories, and where every step reflects the spirit of breaking barriers.
Everyone, put your hands together for the MBA Hoppers and their electrifying hip-hop performance.
What a phenomenal display of talent. Thank you MBA Hoppers and Akash sir for delivering such a bold and unforgettable performance. Your artistry and passion left us all inspired and energized. Let's give them another huge round of applause.
It's time for a musical treat as our dedicated teachers step in the spotlight for the MBA Symphony.
It's always inspiring when those who teach us every day in the classroom share their passions beyond their classroom. Their musical talents are sure to leave us amazed.
Let's welcome our teachers as they take the stage with their instruments for a memorable, melodious performance. Please join us in giving them a huge round of applause.
We extend our gratitude to our teachers for their instrumental performance, which reflects how even without words, music reflects expression, reflection, and shared understanding.
Respected mentors, distinguished guests, and bright young minds of MVMUN Chapter 3. Today, we gather not only to celebrate debate and diplomacy, but also to welcome visionaries who inspire us with their journey.
And today, we are honored to welcome one such extraordinary leader, a man whose name resonates with vision, excellence, and meaningful change.
Carrying forward the rich legacy of Sri Anand Prakash Choksey sir, he has carved his own path of leadership and innovation. From nurturing the growth of Macrovision Academy to shaping Olive Multi-Speciality Hospital into center of healing and trust. His work has touched thousands of lives.
Not only in education and healthcare, but he has also brought creativity to the hospitality sector by establishing iconic NACL restaurant. Truly, a dynamic personality who proves that leadership is not only about success, but about impact.
With more than 9 years of experience, he embodies value, vision, and the courage to create institutions that are future ready. And today, he joined us to share his journey and wisdom with the young diplomats of MVMUN.
So, with immense pride and warmth, let's rise with our applause to welcome the Director, Treasurer of Macrovision Academy and Director of All Is Well Hospital, Kabir Choksey sir.
And to host this special interview, may I now invite on the stage a Secretary General, Master Maulik Bhargav, and Deputy Secretary General, Master Kaustubh Pandey.
Delegates, mentors, and fellow changemakers, please join us in welcoming the inspiring trio with the loudest round of applause.
Welcome, sir, to MVMUN Chapter 3. We have been having our efforts in the last 6 months, and we are very honored, and we are on 9th cloud to have you in front of us. And finally, all of this is happening with your support, with the management support. So,
Thank you, and thank you very much for the kind introduction. And it was pretty lengthy. I mean, thank you for introducing, and we shall start. Thank you.
So the first question, sir, is, during the pandemic, you demonstrated fearlessness and determination in serving your community. Could you please share a memorable experience or lesson from that challenging period of yours?
So, welcome to MVMUN. I'll start from there, and thank you for having me. Myself, Kabir Choksey. So, when the pandemic started, when actual first case in a city like Burhanpur, first official case was announced. So, we never knew how much time or what is the amount of time this pandemic is going to last for. So, I pretty much remember every instance of it, because in a city of Burhanpur, we were having this havoc of pandemic. The worst part of pandemic, those where you were not able to admit the patients because there was a queue of ambulances, and every ambulance had a patient with oxygen mask on, and they were deteriorating. And there were 200 ambulances in a line. So that level of massacre was there for only 2 months. Then it started, and then it went back. So those 2 months I clearly remember, when there was a first patient that was diagnosed with this particular virus. So none of our team was even willing to touch the patient, because there were no research papers, there was no evidence backed of the virus we were having, of the virus we were noticing. We didn't know what level of gravity it might cause, or whether the earth will survive it or not, that was also not sure. So, I mean, kudos to all the research scientists and every healthcare worker. They did pretty well, but those 2 months I clearly remember, there was a time we didn't have nurses, we didn't have GDA staff. The GDA staff is, they take care of the very basic things, which is cleaning of the patient and things around moving the patients and stuff. So I and few doctors in our hospital all as well, I clearly remember we used to sleep, we used to walk around the patients in the ICU with a mask and sometimes the PPE, initially the PPE kit on, and eventually we were so used to with it that we were just wearing our mask, we were sleeping alongside the patients, even if we are sleeping for 1 hour or 2 hours, we were not sure if these patients will wake up when we are waking up or not. So, I mean, things were pretty dark. Me and a lot of doctors, they even cleaned the excretion of human beings we were treating. And we saw worst and best of humanity in that particular time period. So, thanks to all the healthcare workers and people who supported healthcare in that time period, that the earth as a whole came out of it.
So with that, I need to follow up with this question only. We have a committee named Continuous Crisis Committee, in which we simulate crisis in the committee, and the topic is the emergency of 1975, which happened during the time of Indira Gandhi. So you experienced a crisis at that point of moment. So what is the one piece of advice you would like to give to the delegates? How to handle those crises at the mind? What mindset?
I mean, the baseline that, every Macrovision student is taught from Anand sir that whatever difficult times we are in, we shall to pass. So that should be the foundation of your thought process, and whatever these critical communities are, you at the back of your mind, you have to be sure that this will also pass. So you will have to work collaboratively in teams and be the best human being among yourself and come out of it. That's all.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question. In your view, what is the single biggest responsibility our generation holds in terms of education and society at large, especially in the context of events like MVMUN that bring young leaders together?
Repeat the question. There were 3 of them in one question.
In your view, what is the single biggest responsibility our generation holds in the terms of education and society at large, especially in the context of events like MVMU, which bring the young leaders together?
Alright, so in the context of education, so again, I would suggest the responsibility that everyone holds is whatever you have read, whatever you have come across, whatever videos you have researched, to do your research, since you were already aware about the different communities you are in. So in the context of MVMUN, you must, whenever you are debating or whenever people are debating around you, you are listening, the sole focus should be you have limited knowledge. Once that thing is established, that you know that you have limited knowledge, you will be keen on listening to others. And once that is also established, that is where any productive thing can happen. When you know that you don't know. So that is very important, especially in terms of education as well, that you must have that courage to know that you don't know. It's very deep. I think we have students from class 9 to 12, right?
We have this in all the Darbar sessions too. Anand sir says the same thing, कि अच्छे शिष्य बनो, गुरु तो तुम्हारे पास है.
Best.
That's indeed a very great, helpful answer to the delegates. Moving on, sir, how do you balance the responsibility of preserving Anand sir's legacy while also taking bold steps to create your own path forward?
So, the answer I just gave, that I cannot match that legacy. That is something which is fundamentally very clear to me. I can try to do whatever is in my scope, but again, how we talk about it at home is every human being is an individual. So I am again trying to, initially when I came in 2017, and I was trying to learn everything what my father was doing. So since then we've been talking about this, that I have the clear fundamental that I cannot fit his shoes, but I need not wear the same shoe. So I would love to pursue my passions in ways I want to, and that liberty is also given to me and my family. So I'm very grateful to that as well.
As we had this question on board, I need to ask you, what is one big initiative that you are planning for the students of Macrovision Academy, and if you have a vision to change the society in any sort of form in education or in hospitality, what would you do?
So we are working on a lot of things parallelly, and we are eventually getting concurrent results of all of those things, but something that I feel which will have the major impact is technology and the way we are using and teaching technology to the students. So when I came back in 2017, so my father and I used to have a chat that why is it that every now and then we see the newspaper or probably we see on television that these IITians are bagging close to 2 crores in salary just after they have completed their bachelors. So अच्छी बात है, सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगता था कि IITians जो इंडिया के IITians हैं उनको 2-2 करोड़ का पैकेज लग रहा है. बट तब I and my father used to talk that why is it someone has to go through that formal education of bachelors to get that package? Or why is it if someone is willing to start a company, why do they have to go through that formal education up until graduation, then post-graduation, then probably MPhil or PhD somewhere here and there? So we used to think that why don't we offer school students so much of skills, knowledge and confidence that they probably start something on their own, or these big companies should come and beg Macrovision Academy that please give us some time or a placement cell or something like that for your 11th and 12th standard students. Also for your 9th and 10th standard students. Why can't it happen? So this is something we are working on. We are working on the broad range technologies that will be there in future, something which we have been hearing a lot, artificial intelligence, machine learning, which comes under data science, web and app development, robotics and robotics operating system, animation and game designing. So these are the 5 domains we are focusing initially, also with ethical hacking and the cyber security part. So these 6 domains, why don't we give our students so much of skills in these domains that eventually with time they don't even need an official degree to work somewhere or to work on a project or to work on a startup or their own established company. So this is something we've been doing for last 6 to 8 months. And within last 1.5 months, we can see the results of it also. It's been only 1.5 months that Chronosphere has been operational, and still we are planning to build the team. But some of the students of class 11th and 12th or Chronosphere presidents, those guys have developed an indigenous model for this school, because everyone knows, I mean, in Macrovision Academy, every student gets an Apple iPad, but they don't get the internet through that iPad in the campus. They only get access to the intranet, our own local server. So those students already developed a model in which they can ask the question through that intranet, where you don't need to have internet, and you can ask your all the doubts, whether it may be subjective doubts, theoretical doubts related to NCERT, any subject, and also doubts up until JEE Mains, where you're figuring out a solution, you're not getting there, so you can ask that particular model and it will give you correct answers as per the book. So we are now feeding the data for JEE Advanced as well. This model is already working for JEE Mains. The students have developed it, and it will eventually work for JEE Advanced as well. So kudos to Chronosphere team. So this is what we wanted to do with the technology in terms of the revolution we may bring.
The news you just shared right now bashed the hope of many students of getting the internet. Okay, moving on to the next question. We were having a chat in our hostels, basically the students are having a chat, that who has the best smile among the directors, who has the best smile. So we all voted on many people. Somebody voted Devanshi ma'am, somebody voted Anand sir, somebody voted Manju ma'am. But at the end, what we concluded that Kabir sir has the best smile. Is it? It is it.
That's true. That's true. I can vouch for it.
Moving forward to the question of happiness. how do you define success and happiness? And do you think they are connected and independent of each other?
They are connected on the independent of each other. Connected or corrected?
They are connected or independent of each other.
Okay, so I feel happiness is the success. I mean, it's very difficult to say, but eventually money and power, those things are also in that game. But eventually, happiness should be the success. That's what I feel. And those two, for me, is very much interconnected.
Do you have any story in particular which relates to this topic in some sort of way? The students would love to hear this. A story, a past experience which connects me, yeah, I am happy at this point of moment and this does not relate to my success. A moment of happiness.
Oh, definitely. So, me personally and my family, so we run All Is Well Hospital, which 1.5 years ago was not a successful project as per, because as we see the enterprise level of the hospital, it was not profitable and so and so and so. So it was not successful in ways, but we were very happy in running it. So whether, I mean, definitely there is a money involved when there are losses, you need to earn somewhere else, but we were happy in ways that at least we are able to sleep well. So that can be a personal example where financial success or power, if you're not having that in a particular space, then also happiness may uplift you at that point of time.
Thank you very much, sir.
So moving forward, sir, how do you approach making difficult decisions when there is no clear right or wrong answer?
Again, I mean, all these things, I mean, Anand sir talked to you about all those questions that you have already asked me. He is giving reels every now and then on the similar topics. But what we can do about a big decision is we can divide it into smaller decisions and just take it. Whether right or wrong, just go and take it. If you don't take it, then you don't know whether it's right or wrong or whether it is successful or not successful. So how my thought process works is divide that big decisions into smaller ones and take it one by one. You have to take it. Whether you take it right or wrong, if you take wrong decisions, you will eventually learn. But if you don't take decisions, you will never learn. So that's how my psyche works in this particular segment.
So it basically says that after taking the decision, it's your responsibility to make it right. Is that it?
Even if you make wrong decisions, there is no jail time for it. So, I mean, you can correct it. Even if you make wrong decisions that has wrong impacts, you can eventually correct it.
So delegates, this was very helpful for our unmoderated focus.
Moving on to the last question, sir. How would you describe your expectations in 3 words from this MVMUN conference?
I think the only expectation all of the educators have is everyone must learn something out of this. And definitely there is a lot to learn. And we all wish that every one of you take beautiful memories from this MVMUN and also learn a lot. And learning can happen anywhere. It may happen in your discussions, it may happen in your debates, it can happen here, it can happen anywhere in this campus. So keep your student open to learning. Thank you.
With this, sir, we would like to end this interview. Thank you very much for listening so patiently.
Thank you for the sincere listening.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time here.
With deep appreciation, we thank Kabir sir for lending us words that will guide our dialogue further.
They say diplomacy is about finding common ground. But today, the common ground is the stage and the language is dance.
A performance that does not stick to one rhythm or style. Because just the idea in this conference, it flows, it blends, it surprises. That's the magic of a fusion.
Dear audience, fasten your seats because the fusion mix dance, choreographed and brought to life by Rishi sir, is all set to dazzle us.
Let's hear the loudest round of applause. The stage light up with this stunning performance.
3, 2, 1.
Let us take a moment to thank the performers of the last act for filling the stage with such remarkable energy. The act was not just seen but felt.
In the course of our deliberations, we have relied on words, resolutions, speeches, and debates. But beyond words lies another universal language, music, a language that requires no translation, yet resonates with every individual present.
To carry forward that language, we now invite Band Bhairava, a student-led band that represents the creativity, discipline, and spirit of collaboration that defines our generation.
With great excitement, please welcome the band Bhairava as they take the stage, reminding us that just like diplomacy, music has the power to unite, to inspire, and to leave a lasting harmony.
खुशी के पल कहाँ बेनिशान सा वक्त भी यहाँ है जाने कितने लबों पे गिले हैं जिंदगी से कई फासले हैं बस इसके सपने क्यों हम लगी जब छुपे हाथ से मेरा जो भेजी थी दुआ वो जाके आसमां से यूं टकरा गई आ गई है रोक के सर जो भेजी थी दुआ वो जाके आसमां से यूं टकरा गई आ गई है रोक के सर na 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 सासों ने कहा रुख मोड़ लिया कोई नजर में न आए धड़कन ने कहा दिल छोड़ दिया कहाँ छोड़े जिस्मों ने साथ यही बार बार सोचता हूँ मैं मेरे साथ साथ चल रहा है क्या बता हुआ जो भेजी थी दुआ वो जाके आसमां से यूं टकरा गई रोक के सदा जो भेजी थी दुआ वो जाके आसमां से यूं टकरा गई रोक के सदा करे घायल एक सांस में चढ़ा ले हिचकियों में क्या मरना पूरा मर ले पूरा काला है चट्टानों ने पाला है अंदर काला बाहर काला पर सच्चा है सारा पूरा काला है चट्टानों ने पाला है अंदर काला बाहर काला पर सच्चा है सारा एक सांस में चला हिचकियों में क्या मरना पूरा मर ले काला है चट्टानों ने काला है अंदर काला बाहर काला पर सच्चा है सारा पूरा काला है चट्टानों ने काला है अंदर काला बाहर काला पर सच्चा है सारा
Thank you.
A heartfelt thank you to Band Bhairava for that wonderful performance, and to Sagar sir and Yashwant sir for their guidance that made it possible.
Jerusalem, a city that has seen prophets walk its street, but also heard cries of countless wars. A land sacred to many yet torn apart by conflicts.
For decades, the world has watched the suffering of Gaza and Palestine, a conflict that is not only about borders, but about people, identity and survival.
Children growing up to the sounds of siren instead of lullabies. Family displaced generation after generation, and a city who names peace yet rarely finds it.
And today, through the power of theatre, we bring those untold stories to life. Not to take sides, but to reflect the human cost of war and the undying hope for peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present before you Daste Jerusalem, a drama directed by Chinmay sir, capturing the untold stories of Gaza, Palestine and the eternal struggles for Jerusalem.
दुनिया के तमाम मुसलमान खड़े हों, विश्व के सारे यहूदी खड़े हो। नमस्कार, यह है आनंद कथा, ऐतिहासिक और पुरानी कथाओं का नाट्य मंच। आप देख रहे हैं आनंद कथा का सर्ग 2, दास्तान
केवल शांति चाहता है, केवल संघर्ष।
यानी कि यरूशलेम, वो सरजमीन जो मजहबों की पनाह बनी, जहाँ हर दुआ ने आसमां को छुआ,
मगर वहाँ लाखों लोगों का खून भी बहा।
हर गली हर पत्थर जिसका गवाह है, लोगों की लगातार होती इबादत भी और जंग की आग में जलते हुए शोले भी। सारे मुसलमान क्या चाहे? जेरूसलेम, जेरूसलेम। यहूदी बंधु क्या चाहे?
यरूशलेम, यरूशलेम।
ईसाई क्रिश्चियन क्या चाहे? बताएं यहूदियों, क्यों चाहते हो आप यरूशलेम? क्यों चाहते हो? क्यों चाहते हो?
950 ईसा पूर्व में बना हमारे ईश्वर यहोवा का पहला मंदिर।
कभी यरूशलेम हम यहूदियों का है, तो क्यों ना चाहे हम यरूशलेम?
तो किसने बनाया आपका पहला मंदिर?
1000 ईसा पूर्व, यानी कि आज से लगभग 3000 साल पहले हमारे राजा डेविड ने ऐलान किया कि यही बनेगा यहोवा का पहला मंदिर। तो राजा डेविड के बेटे सोलोमन ने बनाया 950 ईसा पूर्व में पहला मंदिर।
फिर उस मंदिर का क्या हुआ?
तोड़ दिया गया हमारा पाक मंदिर,
जला दी गई हमारी विरासतें,
यतीम कर दिए गए हमारे बच्चे,
बेवा हो गई हमारी औरतें और हमें ही हमारे घर से निकाल दिया गया।
तो किसने तोड़ा आपका मंदिर? किसने किया आपको विस्थापित?
बेबीलोनिया साम्राज्य ने, उन्होंने नष्ट किया हमारा मंदिर।
हाँ, तब जब टूट गया आपका पहला मंदिर और आपको जेरूसलम से निकाल दिया गया, तो फिर किस बात का जगाते आप जेरूसलम?
हमें हमारे ही देश से निकाल दिया गया।
कई सालों तक दुख झेला और पीड़ाएं सही।
उसके बाद फारसी राजा साइरस ने हमें इजाजत दी कि तुम जेरूसलम वापस आ सकते हो, अपना मंदिर वापस बना सकते हो।
फिर सारे यहूदियों ने मिलकर लगभग 516 ईसा पूर्व में अपना मंदिर बना लिया। उसके बाद सिकंदर महान भी यरूशलेम आया,
मगर उन्होंने हमारा मंदिर तोड़ा नहीं,
बल्कि उसने हम यहूदियों की भावनाओं का सम्मान किया।
पर हमने तो ये भी सुना है कि आपका दूसरा मंदिर भी तोड़ दिया गया था, क्या ये सच है?
हाँ, ये सच है।
300-400 सालों तक दुनिया के सारे यहूदियों ने मिलकर यरूशलेम में ही निवास किया,
वहीं रहे और वहीं अपना धार्मिक विकास किया।
इस हिसाब से यहूदियों का दावा मजबूत लगता है। क्या ईसाइयों को कुछ कहना है?
हाँ, कहना है, बहुत कुछ कहना है। कुछ समय बाद एक यहूदी परिवार में मैरी और जोसेफ के घर एक बच्चे का जन्म हुआ, जो आगे चलकर बने महान यीशु मसीह।
और यीशु मसीह और क्रिश्चियनिटी का क्या नाता है, वो पूरी दुनिया जानती है। हम उसे आपको बताना जरूरी नहीं समझते हैं।
मत समझाइए, पर ये तो समझाना होगा कि यरूशलेम और ईसाइयों का नाता क्या है।
बताते हैं, यरूशलेम वो शहर है जहाँ से ईसाई धर्म पूरी दुनिया में फैला, उसका प्रसार हुआ। यहीं पे यीशु मसीह की अंतिम प्रार्थना हुई, अंतिम भोज हुआ, उनकी गिरफ्तारी, न्याय, मृत्यु और पुनरुत्थान भी हुआ।
और वहीं बना है होली चर्च, जहाँ पर उनका शव रखा गया था और वहीं वह पुनर्जीवित हुए थे।
और कहने को तो और भी बहुत कुछ है, जिससे ईसाइयों का दावा मजबूत होता है। यरूशलेम हमारा था, हमारा है और हमारा रहेगा। हाँ, पर इन सब के बीच में हम यहूदियों के दूसरे मंदिर के बारे में तो भूल ही गए। क्या हुआ उस मंदिर का?
उसे भी तोड़ दिया गया ईसा मसीह के जन्म और मृत्यु के बाद।
70 ईसी सन में यहूदियों की रोमन से लड़ाई हुई। रोमन यरूशलेम को अपनी मर्जी से चलाना चाहते थे,
जिसका विरोध आगे सभी यहूदियों ने मिलकर किया।
इसका नतीजा यह निकला कि रोमनों ने हजारों लाखों यहूदियों को मारकर उनका विरोध शांत कर दिया।
हमारी जमीन तो चले गई, लेकिन हमारी आस्था वो कभी नहीं जाएगी।
हम चाहे दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में रहे, यरूशलेम हमारे दिलों में है, हमारे खून में है। सही वक्त आने पर दुनिया के सारे यहूदी यरूशलेम वापस आएंगे, यही है हमारा विश्वास।
यरूशलेम!
ये तो बहुत बुरा हुआ। क्या इन सब के बाद मुसलमानों के पास कहने के लिए कुछ है जिससे उनका दावा मजबूत हो?
यहूदियों का दूसरा मंदिर टूटने के बाद अगले 500 सालों तक दुनिया में ढेरों तब्दीलियां आई।
दुनिया बदल रही, दीन बदल रहा था, ईमान बदल रहा था। जैसे ऐसा लग रहा हो कि दुनिया किसी का बेसब्री से इंतजार कर रही है।
और बेशक इंतजार हो रहा था, इंतजार हो रहा था इस्लाम का, इंतजार हो रहा था हजरत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का, इंतजार हो रहा था इस्लाम से पैदा हुई दुनिया की नई तवारीख।
कदम से मोहम्मद साहब ने रात का सफर इसरा और मिराज तक तय किया।
सन 637 में जेरूसलम को खलीफा उमर ने इस्लामिक राज्य में मिलाया
और वही बनी है हमारी अल अक्सा मस्जिद और कुब्बत अस-सखरा,
यानी डोम ऑफ रॉक भी।
आप तीनों के हिसाबे बहुत मजबूत। आप तीनों की अपनी अपनी कहानियां हैं और आप तीनों की अपनी अलग अलग वजह है। हम समझ सकते हैं कि क्यों जेरूसलम आप सभी के लिए इतना जरूरी। मगर इतनी सब जानकारी के बाद हम अब तक 780 तक ही पहुंच पाए और आज हम 2025 में बचे हुए 1200-1300 सालों में क्या हुआ?
780 से लेकर 10th सेंचुरी तक जेरूसलम में हमारे इस्लामिक लीडर्स का कंट्रोल रहा
और इस्लामिक लीडर्स को क्रूसेडर्स ने 1099 में और हमारा जेरूसलम हम क्रिश्चियंस को वापस लौटा दिया।
जनाब सलाउद्दीन को मत भूलिए, जिसने 1187 में हम मुसलमानों को हमारा जेरूसलम वापस लौटा दिया। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
फिर महान ममलूक अंपायर और ओटोमन एम्पायर भी।
और ओटोमन एम्पायर बनाया ब्रिटिशर्स ने 1917 में और बनाया द ब्रिटिश मैंडेट। द ब्रिटिश मैंडेट। कई सालों के फसाद और खून खराबे के बाद ब्रिटिशर्स को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मिली टू मेंटेन पीस एंड हार्मनी इन पैलेस्टीन। और डिस्प्यूट इतना हो गया था कि किसी को भी कंट्रोल कर पाना बहुत मुश्किल था। तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने अल्टीमेटली हेल्प द यूनाइटेड नेशंस और फिर बना इजराइल पैलेस्टीन पार्टीशन प्लान। यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने एक स्पेशल कमेटी फॉर्म, यूएनएसओ, यूनाइटेड नेशंस स्पेशल कमेटी ऑन पैलेस्टीन। फिर पॉपुलेशन और लैंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के हिसाब से इसके 2 हिस्से हुए, जिसमें से एक हिस्सा गया मुस्लिम्स को और एक हिस्सा गया ज्यूज को।
कुछ लोगों को ये बात मंजूर थी और कुछ लोगों को नहीं। तभी से मैं जेरूसलम रो रहा हूँ। तभी से मैं जेरूसलम अपनी आंखों में ख्वाब लिए रो रहा हूँ। My dear children, Jews, Christians and Muslims, let me remind you of something. Let me remind you of Solomon, of Yehovah, of David, Jesus and Moses. Let me remind you of Muhammad and all the Nabis in Islam, of Holy Quran. मेरे बच्चों, तुम सबके सदके मुझ पर ही हैं। मैं ही तुम्हारा पहला किबला, मैं ही वो शहर जहाँ पर ईसा आए, मैं ही वो शहर जहाँ बना यहोवा का पहला मंदिर। तो मेरे नाम पर ये जंग क्यों है मेरे बच्चों? मैं थक चुका हूँ। तुम्हारी रूहों में से मुझे नफरत की बू आती है। अब मैं मर जाऊं उससे पहले मेरी फकत एक ही तमन्ना है कि ऐ रहनुमा, ऐ तीनों जहां के मालिक, मुझे अब तो अमन हासिल हो।
आमीन, आमीन, आमीन।
Thank you so much for your patience. Production जल्दी आ जाइए प्लीज, जल्दी आ जाइए। Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This performance reminded us of both the cost of conflict and the value of peace. So please give a huge round of applause for the team of Dasta-e-Jerusalem for bringing such a powerful story to our stage. So, distinguished guests, esteemed Executive Board and dear delegates, we now arrive at the defining moment of our conference, the gavel ceremony, to be led by a Secretary General.
The gavel is not merely a tool of order. It's a timeless emblem of dialogue, authority and diplomacy, reminding us that in the United Nations, every sound of debate must ultimately strike in harmony with peace.
On this note, we have the honor of inviting our Secretary General to strike the gavel and officially declare this edition of Model United Nations open.
Now, without wasting any further time, I, Secretary General Maulik Bhargav of MVMAN Chapter 3, declare the conference open.